So next we have the results of the Young Wild Writer Competition 2021. We asked young people to write up to 500 words on what rewilding meant for them. And there were 3 age categories: young 5 to 8-year-olds, junior 9 to 12-year-olds, and senior 13 to 16-year-olds. Senior. So what does that make us, Lauren? I must be a dinosaur for sure.
Yeah, prehistoric.
Anyway, the competition was founded by Gill Lewis, who's with us today, for Hen Harrier Action. Gill has written many books about wild animals and wild places, from ospreys to gorillas and from wolves to eagles, including a wonderful book, Skydancer, which you need to pick up, by the way, guys, if you haven't got it. A story about the hen harrier and the change we need to see on our uplands. So, Gill, hello and welcome.
Hello, and thank you for inviting me. It's brilliant to be able to talk about the Young Wild Writer Competition. It's the 2nd year of the competition, so we've had some amazing entries from all age categories. So it's going to be really exciting to share that with you today.
Good. So, can you tell us a bit about your book actually and why you wrote it?
Well, Skydancer, I've got the cover here. So Skydancer, I wrote really in response to hearing about the fate of hen harriers in the UK and about the persecution, especially on grouse moors. So I really wanted to set a story, put it right in the centre of the action. So it centres around a boy called Joe, who's a gamekeeper's son, and together with another friend called Araminta, or Minty, she's the wealthy daughter of a wealthy landowner, and a girl called Ella, who's a townie. They come together, and when they discover that one hen harrier has been shot, they've got to make some really big decisions, and the decisions they make really look at the future of the whole moor and look to the changes they can bring with rewilding. So it's very much a story about the hen harrier, but as a symbol of the change we need to see.
Yeah, sounds fabulous. Now, a teeny weeny bird told us that you've had many entries for the Young Wild Writer Competition. So what are these children, what these people have been writing about?
So we asked them to write about rewilding, and we've had a diverse response from children wanting to rewild their families and show them the beauty of the wildlife around them, to some children wanting to rewild whole worlds and landscapes, and we had some sort of dystopian future stories written in it. So it's been a brilliant response, and great to see that creativity, because words are so powerful, and as you both know, they can really sort of change hearts and minds. So they are great things, and it's wonderful to see young children really taking this up and running with it.
Right. What are the prizes and who are the judges?
So the prizes, we've got some fantastic prizes from book bundles from some best known authors. You can see them, some of them behind me here. So we've got Jackie Morris, Nicola Davies, Piers Torday, Sita Brahmachari, some wonderful book prizes. And the overall winner has got an online author visit from me with writing workshops. So some really lovely prizes. And the judges, I was one of the judges. A Hen Harrier Action team, Joe Hodges is one of the judges, and also a very well-renowned children's literary agent is also one of the judges. So we've had a really tough time, actually, really tough choosing between them. We've sort of argued, we said this one's good, no, this one's better because this one. So it hasn't been easy, David and Lauren. It has not been easy.
I've got one final question for you, actually, and that is, what does the hen harrier mean to you?
The hen harrier to me is a symbol of change, because if the current status quo of driven grouse shooting and the intensive management of the moorland is preventing recovery of the wild. So the hen harrier is a symbol of the change we need to see to bring back the wild to our uplands, for not only for the wild but also for people too, for increasing rural jobs, to reduce flooding, for carbon capture. It's such an amazing bird.
Thank you very much. So we're going to hear about the entries now as well.
Absolutely. So I'm going to take you through the categories. I want to start with the young category first. This is the 5 to 8 age group. This is really difficult to judge, but we have come up with a first, second and a third. So in third place, we have Benjamin Fallow, and he did a wonderful piece about the Knepp estates. And if it had been an art competition, I think Benjamin would have won. This is some of his artwork here. Whoops, we can see it just there.
Wow.
Really lovely illustrations. And we can't actually contact Benjamin. So if you're listening, contact us, because I've sent an email to you and I haven't heard back yet. In second place for the young category, we have Aderon Garcia, who wrote a really lovely poem about a snake, a really short one about an adder, but it was about leaving wildlife alone, letting them have their own space. It was really effective, and we need a bit more snake appreciation, I think. Then in first place for the young category, we have a wonderful piece by Danvant Laxman, aged 6, called Rewilding Beavers. Now, we really love the depth of research for this and the enthusiasm behind his piece. He really understands that beavers are the engineers of landscapes, how they can bring wildlife back. And so I'm going to read Danvant's piece now, Rewilding Beavers. What is rewilding? It is a trial in reintroducing an animal species in its natural wild habitat. The animal got extinct a few centuries back from its natural habitat due to excessive hunting or habitat loss. To experiment, we have to have a right place or sometimes create a habitat it needs, and it needs lots of hard work and a long time. Rewilding in Britain. Many animals such as European bison, Eurasian beavers, grey wolves, brown bears and wild boars used to roam in wild Britain ecosystems. All these animals got extinct from the ecosystem. But 4 centuries back, due to various reasons, and we children have missed seeing them in the wild. We can find them in zoos, but I'm glad we've been creating wild ecosystems for animals like the bison in Britain, and the Eurasian beaver in the Caledonian forest, and in 2019, and Cornwall in Britain in 2017. My favourite is the Eurasian beaver. They are very cute and smart eco-engineers with razor-sharp teeth. They use teeth to munch their food and fell trees. They use the trees and mud to build dams and hold water. And this helps flooding around, and it also introduces lots of animals and bird species into the ecosystems. 4 families of 16 beavers introduced into Scotland in 2008 have helped in reducing soil erosion, avoid flooding and water flowing into seas. And it's reduced drought and formed breaking better grounds for better species. Beavers are crepuscular species, busy working at dawn and dusk. They usually do not feed on crops and help farmers with water for plants to grow. And beavers are useful animals. Beavers build dams for free. We can ask them not to cut the trees we need by building steel fences or painting barks of tree stems. They help salmon and fish more than harm them, and salmon happily leap and jump upstream. We can easily remove unnecessary dams to avoid farms flooded, and I love to visit wildlife and I want to be more helpful to animals. When I become big, I want to be kind and nice to animals. I want to be a veterinary doctor and also help sick wild animals. I want to bring back extinct animals, even mammal dinosaurs. So what do you think about bringing back mammal dinosaurs?
Yeah, we could bring them back from whenever they existed. That would be fantastic. God, what an amazing entry. Honestly, yeah. I was getting really sucked into the facts there, like I was reading a professional textbook. And then that bit about kindness was, yeah, I'm a bit of a tearjerker there. So thank you so much for reading that.
Oh, yeah, it's lovely to have that little bit of heart in there as well, isn't it? Bringing that in. And so the next category, moving on to, so that was the young category. We're going on to the senior category, which is 13 to 16-year-olds. And again, we had a really wide range of subject matter. So again, it was really hard to choose. But we had a first, second and third place. And in third place, we had a really lovely story called The Lonely Hen Harrier by Jessica Preston Hunt, age 13. And it was a really strong story about a persecuted hen harrier. It's quite anthropomorphic, but you really felt you were the hen harrier and you felt these sort of gunshots going off around. It was a very good piece. And then in second place, we had Martha Redfern, aged 14, with Soaring Together. And again, this is a really lovely piece about our collective responsibility to move forward and look after the wild. We really like the idea of a swarm of people persisting, and the notion that every tree, every life needs repaying, replanting, reforesting, rewilding. It had a really lovely rhythm to the piece. But in first place for the senior category was Sophie Simpson, aged 15, with Beguiling Rewilding. And the judges loved this piece. It's got an energy and rhythm and forward momentum, and it asks for change at an individual level and in our own environment. So I'd like to be able to read out Sophie's piece now. Beguiling Rewilding. For 99% of human history, the ways of the world were all but a mystery. We gathered, we hunted, we laughed, we cried, the unspoken rule to let nature provide. However, all this changed with urbanization. Globalization led to spread of information, disconnecting us from the natural world. This meant all kinds of trouble unfurled. More than half our species already in decline, climate chaos catastrophe, yet another sign. We need to rewild, that's the main key, giving Earth a helping hand, letting it roam free. Biodiversity, the abundance of life, vital to avoid any ecosystem strife. Do you wish to help let planet Earth succeed? Then read on carefully, here's what they need. Let your garden grow, grow the grass up high. Toxins, poisons, please say goodbye. Consider planting bushes, any shrubberies will do. Compost heaps, good addition for habitat and for you. Variety in vegetation will please the birds, native trees would be preferred. However, any help will make our green earth smile, and your wild garden will simply beguile. So we really love that piece, that talking about actually rewilding just in our own local habitats will really make a difference.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Anyone can get involved then as well. It's not just in these vast landscapes.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you can really bring it back to your garden or your balcony or wherever you live. It's really, really important.
Amazing. Well done.
And so we've got one more category to go, which is the junior category, the 9 to 12-year-olds. And this was actually one of the hardest categories because this had the most entries, and all the entries were so close. We really had to pick them apart. It was really hard to do. But in the junior category, we had again a first, second and third. And third is a wonderful piece called Roadside Rewilding by Seth Kilburn Bond, age 10. And he created this really short, punchy poem. And it was all about launching seed grenades and summoning a green army. It was really, really effective. So well done to Seth. And in second place, we had What Does Rewilding Mean to You by Alex Whitbread, who was age 10. And he's got a really strong voice. His was full of humour about getting out into your local environment, putting your boots on, getting your rucksack on, going out and seeing the wild in your waterproof trousers. And it was really, really effective. But then in first place, and this piece won the overall winner of the whole competition. So first place in the junior and overall winner is a wonderful poem called Parallel Lives by Charlie Bernand, aged 11. And this was actually based on his own experience of where he's growing up. There was a field which a new landowner took over and put up big fences, and nobody could get back on those fields, and some of the area was destroyed, and then another landowner took it over and renewed it. So it's about sort of renewal as well. And right at the end of the poem, you'll hear he's used the fragile poppy as a really good symbol of standing guard and keeping watch. And we loved the emotional connection with this poppy relating to sort of war, devastation and renewal. It was just such a lovely image that it conjured in our heads. And we're really, really lucky that Cressida Cowell, the children's laureate, and also she's the author of How to Train Your Dragon books, she has recorded reading Charlie's piece. So we're going to hear Cressida Cowell now reading Parallel Lives by Charlie Bernand, and a very well done.
Hello, I'm Cressida Cowell, and I'm reading the winning entry, the overall winner, and the winner of the 9 to 12 age group in the Young Wild Writer competition. And it's a poem by Charlie Bernand, age 11. It's called Parallel Lives. 2 lives in parallel, my own and my habitats. As I grow up, 2 stories to tell. One of the child constantly growing, one of the rivers and fields where I dwell. Fields where I learned how to walk and to run, hiding amongst all that golden corn, taking delight in the bright red poppies, taking delight in where I'd been born. One day it all changed, a new farmer in charge, bringing my world under his new scheme. Lying in bed, my sleep was shattered by thudding machinery, ruining my dream. Hammering stakes to form prison walls, brutal barbed wire, demarcating my fields, all in the interest of modern farm management, all in the interest of increasing yields. Not only the fields wore striped prison gear, but liberty torn from their visitors too, running through corn, a vanishing memory, cruelly harrowing the world that I knew. Gone were the picnics we'd had by the river, running through buttercups down to the Thames, flashing their branches like whips go the willows, flashing blue kingfishers, glinting like gems. But reaching the river restores future hope, as the Thames and the Tame are now rivers of life, a rewilding project for biodiversity, improving water quality, fit for wildlife. People and nature working in unison seek to undo the harm that's been done by deep channels ploughed for Thames navigation, by deep channels hidden away from the sun, harming the backwaters home to so many. But now the rewilding is bringing them back, handing the riverbanks over to nature, allowing the wetlands to get back on track. Little Whittenham Wood, home to great crested newts, water reeds reaching right up to the skies, life's rich tapestry, voles and stag beetles, life's rich tapestry, bright dragonflies, slowing the flow of the great river Isis, filtering the water and making it clean, letting the wetlands become re-established, capturing carbon to make the world green. Seeing the realm of my childhood restored, that beautiful world where Thames and Tame meet, historic landscape where kings once were christened, historic landscape, my memory so sweet. Restored by the earth trust, these rivers are thriving, allowed to return to their natural state, natural habitats. Man merely background, restoring the golden age before it's too late. But my theme of relations between man and nature, this theme of rewilding, man standing aside, it works on all time frames, both long-term and short. It works on all levels to bring that same pride. For now a new farmer has joined the rewilding. No big project here, but my world still renewed. Man versus nature, the jailer turned good. Alliance and harmony replacing the feud. No more harsh stakes now cut off my fields. No brutal boundaries remain to be seen. And from dangerous barbs that glinted with menace, from dangerous barbs to a lattice of green. A natural fence interwoven with poppies, a gentler barrier allows me to roam, papery redheads graciously nodding, an elegant sentinel guiding me home. What a beautiful poem. Well done to Charlie, and well done to everybody else who entered the competition.
Wow, how beautiful was that? I would like to hear that again, actually. That was amazing.
It's wonderful, wasn't it? Really, really was. And we've just had so much fun reading them and difficulty judging them. It's just been fantastic.
I bet. Well done, Charlie. So talented. Amazing. Oh, thank you so much, Gill, for curating that competition. It was so enjoyable for us to hear just those winning entries. So I bet it was really, really difficult to choose. Thank you.
Yeah, and we hope to do it again next year. So get your writing out and your writing hats on and get writing.